Is this right? I had to do some research too on that to see if that was correct, but indeed it is. Okay, and so there you have it. Chile is close to Antarctica. So that's the first article this week. So today and tomorrow you can enjoy that.
Yeah, it's all about discovering Chile. Be sure to check out that Eco Lodge. Doesn't that look beautiful?
It looks amazing. You can stay there. I just could imagine, I don't know, enjoying being in a hot tub or something like that, enjoying the mountain views and camping.
Looks like you're on a different planet.
Speaking of different planets, let's move to our different article. I'm not sure the transition is there, but we're talking about getting past disease to the science of wellness, right? We've talked a lot in the past, or some in the past, about preventative healthcare. This kind of even goes a step further than that, really focusing on wellness.
Yeah, now this is a crazy kind of article because it's talking about, like Brandon just said, focusing on wellness. What does that mean? Well, in the context of our article and what this company wants to do, it's like instead of waiting until you get sick to go to the doctor, or instead even of trying to do things to have preventative measures before you get sick, it's like, let's take another step back. Even before prevention, let's look at what might happen in the future by studying your proteins, your genetic makeup, your DNA, and understanding more about the human body so that we can actually, in a sense, prevent sickness from even happening.
Right, and compiling that data using big data to maybe, one day that could help you out, or because of all of the data that they've collected, could help you, the doctors, to know which path you should sort of take with regards to wellness. So a fascinating article. It's pretty dense. It's extra high level, I would say, for even advanced, and so be sure to check that out. And then the article we really want to focus in more on today as we give you this update is our third article this week, and it's about learning more with less effort.
Yes, learning more with less effort. Now, this article talks about the work of a particular psychologist named, what's his name? Ebbinghaus.
Well, yeah, that's close. His first name is Herman. We'll just go with Herman.
Yeah.
And we do get, some information from him. He talks about the forgetting curve.
Yes.
And then we know about the learning curve, perhaps. Maybe you have a new job and you say it has a steep learning curve. It means there's a lot that you need to learn in a short amount of time. But maybe you haven't heard of the forgetting curve.
Yeah, so the forgetting curve is an essential part of the learning process. It basically means that once you learn something, there's a necessary and inevitable process of forgetting it. And once you've forgotten it, then you can go back and learn it again, and then that's supposed to help it become even more solidly placed into your mind.
So in essence, you quiz yourself, right? And so that helps you to see what you forgot, and you go back and try to learn those things that you've forgotten. And it's all a part of this idea of spaced repetition.
Yeah, spaced repetition is a really important concept for any language learner. It's something that I know came up a lot for me when I was studying Chinese at Shudao, right? And you guys probably use it too, maybe without even knowing it, because a lot of flashcard systems like Anki Droid or any of those, they have spaced repetition built into the way that they quiz you with the flashcards. So it just means that once you get a flashcard and you can either correctly identify it or not, and then it goes into a certain sequence. If you forgot it, maybe it'll show up again sooner. If you remember it, maybe it'll show up again later. And by automatically kind of arranging your flashcards according to a time period during which you think it thinks you need to remember it, it can help you remember all of your vocabulary words more easily and build stronger memories for all of those things that you're learning.
This is much better than the way I studied in college or high school. I would cram right before a test, and then you remember a lot of the stuff while you're taking the test, but then after the test, most of that is gone, right? And so I think this is a much better way to learn.
Yeah, cramming is a popular thing because it's an easy thing to do. I did it. A lot of you probably know what we're talking about too. But that kind of learning is almost like, it's like taking a sponge and trying to soak it into as much of a solution or as much of a fluid as you can, and then try to hold it and then go over to the test and then just squeeze it all out. And then, okay, great, maybe you remembered it all for the test, but that was just one big study session and one big release. And after that, where does all that knowledge go?
Right.
Well, you already used it, so your brain's like, whew, I don't need that anymore, you know, and you just move on.
So basically you want to give your brain time to, or your mind time to forget something, right? And so you can go back and see what that is and figure it out, and then you're more likely to remember it. So you have to give yourself enough time. That's why cramming doesn't really work. But it leads us to our question of the week.
Yeah, we were, as Brandon and I were discussing this article and talking about just ways that people learn, right?
Yeah.
Like remembering, forgetting like the learning curve, the forgetting curve, methods for learning new information. That got us thinking a little bit about learning styles.
That's right. So our question is, what is your learning style? And the learning styles, there are different ones, like visual learning, audio, reading, writing, and then there's a fifth one, kinesthetics.
Kinesthetics.
Yes.
I think it's kinesthetics.
And that just means learn by doing. So which one do you really relate to, David?
So I think that everyone is all of them, but we have more of an emphasis towards some, right?
Right.
So I really like learning things, I guess a mixture of like audio and visual. You know, so for example, one of my favorite things to do is to go on YouTube and look at videos about that'll teach me about something. Yeah, how does this thing work? How does that thing work? And whenever there's a video where there's kind of, you can see graphs and pictures of someone illustrating what something is while also hearing an explanation, that really helps me, because I can remember kind of the narrative of the information, and I can think of a picture to put it together with, and then I remember it.
Absolutely.
You know, it's super useful. So for me, I think it's like a mixture of audio and visual, but also if I have to do something, I have to, if I want to learn how to do something, I do have to do it. Yeah. You know, and apply that knowledge in order to really learn it. So
absolutely. Yeah, I think for me it's visual, and then learn by doing, right? If I do something and I don't do it correctly, then I'm more likely to figure out the correct way to do it, and then I will remember it, which is similar to the spaced repetition. Are you trying to figure out what you know and what you've forgotten, and then go back and revisit those things you've forgotten? It's similar to that, and also, of course, visual. I think when I see something, that is helpful. But what about you? What is your learning style? It's good to think about that. Let us know in the comments below. So each week we'll continue our question and answer section, and we hope that you can comment to us in that section on YouTube. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah, in the future we would like to be able to have a little bit more interaction with you guys. Maybe if we ask a question at the beginning of the program, you guys can leave some comments and responses, and then we'll come back to them later. Yeah. Or if there's anything you want to know about us, and we give you some questions and you can ask, then you guys can ask those questions, we can answer them. If you leave some comments below this in this video, because it's going to be pre-recorded and you can watch it later, we can actually go back to some of those answers that you guys left next week when we go live at 1 o'clock on Monday. That's right, Mondays, 1 o'clock, live, Advanced Weekly Update live, AD live, Mondays, 1 o'clock live, check it out.
I think we got it, 1 o'clock. We're here every Monday. We hope you guys can join us again next week. If by chance you ever miss this, as David said, it's recorded as well. It will be on YouTube, but we hope that you can join us live every week, every Monday at 1 o'clock.
That's right, AD live, Mondays, 1 o'clock, AD live.
See you guys.
Mondays, 1 o'clock, AD live. Mondays, 1 o'clock, AD live. Mondays, 1 o'clock, AD live.